The Chicago Bears draft is done. And so let's look through rounds 4 through the end for the Chicago Bears. But before I do that, let me just tell you that, all the Bears draft picks that they made over the last few days, they may not all make the team. But I think that what's important is for the Chicago Bears to be able to hit a home run on a number of these picks. You want a number of these picks to be able to be with the ball club 3 years, 4 years, and further down the line, because this is a big draft for the Chicago Bears. If you're going to level the franchise and if you're going to start over, this draft is very important. And the Bears hopefully found some guys that can be cornerstones for the franchise for some years to come. Fourth round pick, Rashawn Johnson, is from Texas. He was a running back there. He was never considered the number one back with the Longhorns. But it's interesting that his high school background is that he was a dual threat quarterback in high school and says, I'm just going to settle in being a running back. And so he was a Swiss Army knife with the Longhorns, a runner, a receiver, a blocker, also a very, very good tackler for special teams. So he comes in handy for the Chicago Bears team. You want to add more to the running back room and the versatility of that running back room as well. I was reading through our lads here, looking up some of these players, and the description for Rashawn Johnson was yoked from head to toe. Yoked from head to toe. So I guess they love his body here at ourlads.com. Tyler Scott is a wide receiver from Cincinnati. They also picked up a cornerback in Terrell Smith. Noah Sewell is from Oregon. He's a linebacker. And if you know that name, Penei Sewell, the Sewell name has been around the National Football League for quite some time. So Noah Sewell, a linebacker from Oregon, second team All Big 12. He's a 3-year starter. Also an aggressive, physical middle linebacker, tackles close to the line and also to the backfield, and fast enough, and this is what I really liked about him, fast enough to be able to run down tight ends, also to chase quarterbacks out of the pocket. So there's strength and there's speed there with Noah Sewell, the linebacker that the Bears were able to get. Again, as much defensive prowess as possible for this team. A terrible defense last year, and so you want to get younger and more aggressive and figure out who the building blocks are for this defense for the future. So I like the pedigree of a Sewell being on the Chicago Bears team. Let's see what happens for the young man from Oregon. Also, he plays a 4-3 or a 3-4, so he's versatile in that regard. Travis Bell is a defensive tackle, and also a safety. Kendall Williamson was the last pick for the Chicago Bears. Look, I think that the Bears overall did a really good job in the draft as far as addressing needs. I can't guarantee you that these players that were picked by Ryan Poles will all be great. But I always believe that if you look at your depth chart and say, boy, we're really thin defensively, especially on the line, boy, we could really need some secondary help, boy, we really need some help on the offensive line. We need to have extra weapons for Justin Fields. That's what it comes down to. I will tell you that this draft is really about building blocks, trying to get better for the future. I heard Ryan Poles' press conference after the draft was done. He didn't guarantee anything. He just said we had to have a good draft and to be able to build toward the future, and they did. And so I agree with him. I look forward to seeing what these new guys can do. And again, all these players may not make the team or be with the team for the long haul. But I really believe that as far as looking at this depth chart and being able to identify the things that you need, I think that the staff up at Lake Forest did a really good job of being able to handle that. What are your overall thoughts on the draft? I know we get into this kind of gray area of like, how come they take my guy? What about my guy? It's not about your guy. It's really about the future of the Chicago Bears and trying to get better incrementally, year in and year out, so you can get that Super Bowl trophy at some point in this regime. What do you think of what the Bears did? I think it was a very good draft as far as addressing needs. What do you think?